Hello wonderful person, this is Philip, and after making a video earlier on the 5 precepts in Buddhism, I want to now provide a little bit more context for morality or ethics within the Buddhist path. The Buddhist path has as its goal the cessation of suffering, which the Buddha also called the highest bliss. In short, happiness. And this happiness is achieved through wisdom, through insight that is gained from meditation. Now, meditation is its own big topic. I've made a few videos on that already. But the way meditation and ethics come together, the way ethics ties into meditation, is very simply that within meditation, the goal is to develop and cultivate a mind that is peaceful, powerful, still, calm, and wise. And that is really the only place where ethics comes into the Buddhist path. The 5 precepts in particular, but any set of Buddhist precepts really, depending on your situation, you might take 8 or 10 or 227 precepts. But the 5 precepts are the minimum basic rule set that's generally necessary for your mind to be able to develop the stillness that then leads to the wisdom that makes you happy and that can guide your actions. So if you don't know where to start, one of the basic things that you will take on is those 5 training rules, simply because when you don't adhere to those 5 training rules, it's very difficult to become still. You'll find that you're very restless. I don't know if you've ever killed anyone, maybe you have stolen something, maybe you have cheated or lied, but after you do something like that, when you then sit down and try to be completely calm and quiet and still, you will generally find that your mind is restless. It goes back to what you have done, or it starts worrying about what the consequences might be. So that is really where ethics, if you want to call it that, or morality, comes in. What Buddhism does not do in the department of morals or ethics is have any sort of policing of people where you might have something like a holier than thou attitude, or where you just get any Buddhist telling you, oh, well, you're not doing it right, you're doing all this bad stuff, you're an evil person. This is generally not going to happen, because the Buddha specifically discouraged that, and he made it clear what the purpose of ethics is. Some people use the word evil in Buddhist terminology, but really it's more common, and that is really what the Buddha used. He didn't use the word evil per se. The word he used most of the time when talking about these actions was maybe unwholesome or bad. A lot of the time he also used the word unskillful. And that's really what it is. So if you kill someone, that is an unskillful action. It's an action that will disturb your mind, that will make it so that it's going to be very hard for you to make progress in your meditation. That is why these training rules of morality exist. And they definitely do not exist for other people to then judge you and say, oh, you're an evil person because you have killed, we will not allow you in a Buddhist temple. That's just not what happens in Buddhism, or at least ideally. That's what Buddhists do not engage in. And generally what I've found is that, of course, you have all kinds of people, especially when Buddhists come together, because they tend to be very accepting. So they don't kick people out just because they might cause a scene or something like that. But those people who have practiced Buddhism for a long time are usually very accepting and non-judgmental because of their understanding of ethics and morality. Another thing that comes into this is, of course, that one of the core teachings of Buddhism, and also one of the things that you realize, that you see in your own meditation, is a concept called impermanence or inconstancy. Yes, anicca. That just means that things constantly change. And that includes individuals, people. People constantly change. And Buddhism in general does not look at a person as an evil person. Buddhists are generally aware of the fact that people have lots and lots of actions that make up their lives. Lots and lots of actions make up what I am and who I am. I have thoughts every day. I have physical actions, bodily actions every day. Verbal actions, I say things every day. Some of those things that I do and say and think are good or wholesome. Some of them are unwholesome or unskillful or evil. That doesn't mean that I am a good person or I am an evil person. No, I'm just a human being trying to do his best. And most individuals are that way. They just try to do the best. And they do good things and they do bad things in the process. It's not even all that useful to focus on whether something was good or bad in any other sense other than, is it helping you achieve your goal? And that is really the only context of morality or ethics in Buddhism. Do the actions that you take or the actions that you abstain from support the development of stillness, wisdom, happiness, or do they not support it? And depending on that, a monk would advise you, a Buddhist might advise you what you would do or what you would not do, depending on what result you want to achieve. And the training rules are very simply sort of a distilled version of a very basic, fundamental set of minimum rules to make sure that you have a solid foundation to develop stillness and insight in your meditation. So that is what, in my opinion, the place of ethics or morality is in the Buddha's teaching. If you have any comments or questions, please leave them right here below on the video, and I will address them. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you again in the future.